I go to New York, Chapter 1, A Dream Begins. Ever since I was a child, I dreamed of visiting New York City. I had seen it in movies, read about it in books, and imagined walking down its famous streets. The bright lights of Times Square, the towering skyscrapers, and the endless energy of the city fascinated me. So, when the opportunity finally came, I knew I had to go. Chapter 2, Arriving in the Big Apple. The moment my plane landed at John F. Kennedy Airport, I felt a rush of excitement. Stepping out into the terminal, I was surrounded by the hum of different languages, the hurried pace of travelers, and the scent of fresh coffee. I grabbed my suitcase, took a deep breath, and headed towards my adventure. As I took a taxi into the city, the skyline came into view. The Empire State Building stood tall among the other skyscrapers, and I couldn't believe I was really here. The driver, a friendly man with a thick New York accent, gave me some tips on places to visit. "If it's your first time, you gotta check out Times Square at night," he said with a grin. Chapter 3, First Impressions. Walking through Times Square was like stepping into another world. Neon signs flashed everywhere, massive digital billboards advertised Broadway shows, and street performers entertained the crowd. I stood in the middle of it all, mesmerized. The city was loud, fast, and full of life, as I continued my journey. I visited Central Park, where I enjoyed a quiet moment away from the busy streets. I strolled along the pathways, watched street musicians, and admired the beauty of the trees and lakes. New York had a rhythm, unique balance of chaos and calm. Chapter 4, Learning and Growing. During my stay, I wanted to improve my English, so I joined a language exchange group. It was a great experience. I met people from all over the world, each with their own story and reason for being in New York. We practiced English together, shared meals, and explored the city as a group. One day, we went to the New York Public Library, a place I had always wanted to visit. Standing in the grand reading room, surrounded by books and history, I felt inspired. This city was a place where dreams could come true if you worked hard enough. Chapter 5, An Unexpected Adventure. One evening, I got lost in the streets of Manhattan. I had taken the wrong subway train and ended up in a neighborhood I didn't recognize. For a moment, I felt nervous, but then I remembered the advice of my language teacher: if you get lost, ask for help. New Yorkers may seem busy, but they are always willing to help. I approached an elderly man sitting on a bench. "Excuse me, sir, can you help me find my way back to Times Square?" I asked. He smiled. "Of course. You just need to take the A train from that station over there. It'll get you back in no time." I thanked him and followed his directions. That night, I learned that New York could be overwhelming, but it was also full of kind people willing to guide you. Chapter 6, Farewell, but not goodbye. My time in New York was coming to an end, but I knew this was not the last time I would visit. I had fallen in love with the city, its energy, its diversity, and its endless possibilities. I had improved my English, made new friends, and gained memories that would last a lifetime. As I boarded my flight home, I looked out the window one last time. The city sparkled below. And I whispered to myself, I'll be back. This was just the beginning of my journey. New York had changed me, and I knew that my adventure was far from over.